Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining. Really quick update today. We're going to talk about the back and give you a back tip for building a strong, defined, wide back. Unfortunately, most guys in the gym these days neglect their back. They neglect their back. The main reason I believe that happens is the back is a muscle that you can't see readily. We just don't see our backs all the time. So we do see our biceps, our triceps, our shoulders, our chest, our traps. Very rarely do we see the back muscles on ourselves. So that muscle tends to get neglected. One of my favorite things for building a strong, healthy, defined, muscular back is the barbell row. Unfortunately, the barbell row is one of those exercises that isn't really done as much as it used to be done. Back in my day when I was working out, going to the gym, when I first got into this stuff, the barbell row was a staple for a back routine. It's one of those exercises that you always did. Nowadays, when I go to the gym, I see guys come in and the first thing they do is go right over to the pulley system. They'll do pull downs or seated rows. Those are great movements, but an exercise like the barbell row is a compound movement. It works the back from a lot of different angles. You can change your grip on a barbell row. You can do the palms facing the bar. You can do palms out. There's so many different variables you can do with a barbell row. You can do low reps, high reps, and even just do a feeder workout with extremely light weight and just pump a lot of blood and work on the contractions of the back muscle. The back muscle is a very complex muscle group, so you need compound movements to engage all those muscles in the back. The rep range I like to shoot for with any of my back training, specifically barbell rows, I do like to go a little bit higher than usual. So my typical training, I like to float between that 3 to 6 rep range because I like power and I like strength movements. For the barbell row, I recommend a higher rep range. For the back, I like anywhere between 8 being the least and 15 for the back. 15 can be your higher rep range for the back. The reason for that is I really like to make sure that I'm using the back muscles to pull and not the biceps. So once the weight goes up heavy and it's a weight that's way out of your range, you're gonna use your biceps to pull because that's what the biceps do. They pull. So with a barbell row, practice on actually having a little bit lighter of a grip on the bar and pull through your elbows, not your hands. Pull through your elbows, not your hands, to engage more of the back muscles. Another little trick you can use is the wrist wraps. Yes, you can use wrist wraps. Don't worry about whether or not wrist wraps are going to make your grip weaker. They won't. As I said in one of my previous videos, if you have weak wrist, a wrist wrap isn't going to change that. And if you happen to have a really strong wrist and a strong grip, a wrist wrap isn't going to change that either. So wrist wraps aren't going to affect your grip strength either way. You need to work on having a stronger grip. And you don't have to work your grip during back movements. You can work your grip in other workouts. And I'll go over movements for working the grip and creating a strong forearm and exercises for creating a strong grip. But there's a lot of exercises for that. You have the reverse forearm curls, hammer curls, reverse curls. There's so many exercises you can do to create a stronger grip. The farmer's walk is a great one. Any kind of weighted carry, hanging from a pull-up bar. But don't worry about building your grip or weakening your grip when you're doing your back exercises. Work on your grip outside of working on the back because back exercises are for the back. That's why they're called back exercises. And work your forearms, which again, Next time you go to the gym, I want you to look around. Just take a look around. Remember that you watched this video, look around and count how many people you see doing forearm isolation exercises. Just count how many you see. My prediction is the number you see will be between 0 and 1. 0 and 1. This whole week I was at the gym, I didn't see one person working their forearms because they just don't get worked. It's an afterthought. And back muscles, back exercises rather, pulling exercises for your back, your rows with the barbell, your rows with dumbbells, and your cable pulls and all that stuff, those are not for strengthening your grip in your forearms. I hear people talk about this all the time, and they're like, well, I don't want to use wrist wraps because I want to build my strength and my grip in my wrist. Again, if you want to build strength in your wrist or in your grip, do grip, wrist, and gripping exercises that will help you build that strength. And I'll do a whole video on all those exercises for you in a future update. So again, really love the barbell row. Keep the reps a little bit higher and focus on pulling through your elbows as opposed to pulling with your hands. I know it sounds crazy because you're thinking, well, I have to pull with my hands. Of course you're going to be pulling with your hands, but don't let your hands and your biceps do all the work. It's a mental shift, mind-muscle connection on the back. Hope this has been informative. Have a nice day and a strong back.